Have you ever wondered why you end up buying more than you intended when you visit a store? Well, that's no accident. Retailers employ a variety of psychological tactics to influence your behavior and encourage you to spend more money. In this video, we'll uncover the top 10 ways stores psychologically trick you into making purchases you may not have planned. Let's dive in. Grocery stores begin with flowers and produce to stimulate your senses. You may have observed that whomever designs these things, regardless of company, goes to great measures to push you to walk past the flower department first, followed by the produce section, which is not far behind. Now, we could propose insane hypotheses about all stores being created by large construction companies that wish to maintain utilizing the same design, either due to laziness or the simplicity of quickly cranking out cookie-cutter layouts. However, the fact is that it all boils down to grocery shops understanding fundamental human psychology and opting to use it against you on their own. Stores recognize that when it comes to food, consumers prefer to spend more and have greater faith in the store if they feel everything is incredibly fresh. By making consumers go past the flower and fruit sections first, you prepare their senses to believe that the remainder of the shop is fresh, even if it isn't. Stores will go so far as to trick you into walking by a floral department first, merely to emphasize freshness, even if they do very little floral business outside of Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. There is a good chance all of the fish in your seafood section have been frozen. When you buy anything described as fresh, you tend to think it is, and you'd be fairly irritated if you discovered you were duped. When it comes to meat and fish, we often assume that fresh means that it was only refrigerated and has never seen a freezer. Wendy's is well known for emphasizing that their meat is never frozen in order to get people to buy from them. However, when it comes to fish, it resides in a strange position where most people just assume fresh fish to be anything purchased on ice from the seafood department, despite the fact that none of this makes sense. Even if you live near an ocean market and can get fresh fish delivered every day, the fact that it's on ice to keep it sellable hardly qualifies as fresh. But this is part of the difficulty with the whole concept of selling fresh fish in the first place. Some experts claim that the entire concept is an illusion since, in order to preserve their catch fresh enough to return from the coast, most fishermen immediately place their catch on ice, so invalidating the entire concept. Sugary breakfast cereals are placed to make eye contact with your children. Sugary breakfast cereals seek to justify their existence by claiming to be enriched with all of the vitamins and minerals that your children require. They spend a lot of money on marketing each year and are always changing up their cereals to keep them attractive in the eyes of your youngsters. And when we say they're marketing straight to your children, we don't mean as a conspiracy, we mean they've been doing it for years and are extremely open about it. And we're not simply talking about attractive mascots or advertising as your kids watch cartoons, though such things do happen. They have arrangements with grocery retailers to guarantee that product placement is appropriate for manipulating your children's developing minds. In the United States, cereal corporations have a stranglehold on a whole aisle, ensuring that the cereals they want to sell the most are positioned at eye level with your children. They also ensure that the mascots for these items have big, inviting eyes, toothy grins, and trustworthy expressions that nearly implore you to consume the cereal. Department stores enhance your senses with cologne. Department stores are disappearing, yet they continue to serve as anchor stores for many large malls and, if nothing else, are a part of history. And, of course, if you want to buy cologne or perfume other than online, you normally go to a department shop like Macy's or JCPenney. Now, you may have observed that, like produce, the fragrance section is generally quite visible and difficult to miss, with a usually pleasant aroma striking you right away. This priming of your senses leads you to believe that all of the clothing must be really clean and wonderful, because you smell nothing but pleasant things when you first go through. This tactic makes sense since you want people to link high-end brands with high-end products, and the fact that you frequently pass by the jewelry doesn't hurt either. However, this might lead to confusion among customers. Many customers get home from the store and discover that their cologne and perfume smell different than they did while testing it out in person. This is a true occurrence caused by the store's attempts to pique your interest, but it is not always deceptive. Because there are so many individuals evaluating colognes and fragrances, and the shop occasionally pumps in lovely odors, your senses might be confused unintentionally. Many sale prices are a calculated lie, yet people want the illusion anyhow. We all enjoy sales, and retailers know this, so they constantly market them. Of course, around the holidays, sales expand tremendously until they are all we see. We feel good knowing that we beat the system or won something, and the retailers benefit by generating money. However, the majority of these deals are not sales at all, and the sellers are fully aware of what they are doing. Capitalism. You may believe that stores have a normal pricing for a certain item and that the sale is to entice you to buy more to make up for a sluggish time or make the most of a busy one. However, the fact is that most businesses have deals almost all of the time, and most sale prices aren't just a little lower margin, they're the price they expected you to pay for it in the first place. Now, before you get your pitchforks for the major stores, keep in mind that a huge retailer previously tried to put an end to this insanity, and the consumer outcry was legendary. Essentially, the CEO of JCPenney attempted to lower ordinary costs and eliminate the continual bogus discounts, and shoppers reacted. The majority of Best Buy or similar labeling is not worth the paper it is printed on. You may have observed a variety of expiry labels on your items and wondered what they all imply. And the solution is a little tricky. An exact expiry date printed on a manufacturer sealed box may not always be required, but it's a good chance they're attempting to safeguard you. However, labels that read Best Buy or Best If used by signify far more to the vendor than they do to the buyer. You see, Best Buy labeling does not imply that the food has expired or is harmful, it just indicates that the product's flavor and texture quality has begun to deteriorate, and the manufacturer does not want that level of quality control to slip through. They are effectively using you as their quality control agent after the fact, saving money, while gaining more of yours, by encouraging you to toss it out and purchase more frequently. Expiration labels can be even more problematic because they are used on well-sealed items, as well as on meat sold by the store. Stores shift products around frequently in an attempt to get you buy more stuff. This is a common complaint, and it drives almost everyone nuts. There's probably no one reading this who hasn't been perplexed by their grocery shop's decision to reorganize the entire store, changing everything around so extensively that you have to relearn the entire system. You go about, angry, asking staff, many of whom don't appear to know either, and ultimately scout it all out again. The entire time, you curse whatever corporation felt this was a good idea and begin to wander into conspiracy land, wondering whether it's all a ruse to fool you into spending more money. We hate to admit it, but for once, conspiracy theorists are accurate. Grocery businesses frequently reorganize because they want you to forget where everything is. They're doing this, as you might expect, so you'll see goods you forgot about or hadn't noticed previously, and ideally adjust your buying habits in a way that pulls more money out of your wallet. Customers nearly unanimously despise this technique, yet given that grocers continue to engage in it, it must be effective. Stores frequently print sales, knowing they have an unreasonably low supply to meet demand. Stores will try whatever to lure you in the door, including promos and regular specials, and they aren't beyond using a few dirty techniques. While most would not overtly lie to you, if only because it is unlawful, they will not stop at writing out excellent sales knowing full well that they will not have enough stock to fulfill demand. You may be wondering how they can get away with this, but there is some legal wrangling that can be done. One of the original favorites is to utilize the limited supply trick with doorbuster bargains on days like Black Friday to attract customers in the door, even if most businesses only have a few of the advertised things in stock and others don't. Even with this disclaimer, the pressure has increased, and the retailers appear to have stopped this practice for the most part. However, supermarket businesses are still known to play tricks on customers. Another popular method is to have a limited time sale without the limited supply warning, and then bank on people not realizing they may ask for a rain check. Furniture shops have you walk through a labyrinth to see everything. IKEA is well known for selling furniture with unusual and complex instructions, which users almost always wind up assembling correctly after far too many hours and perhaps a few punched walls and flung Allen wrenches. The furniture has made its way into homes and dorm rooms all around the world, and the assembly model has been popular among many furniture makers who have recognized the advantages of delivering a small product that a customer can assemble themselves. They're also a bit out of the way, so people make tiny pilgrimages to them, making for a memorable experience every time. The truth is that IKEA's out-of-the-way location is only part of their diabolical ploy to get you to spend a lot of money. IKEA is not just out of the way, but it is also actually constructed like a maze, so instead of the typical up and down aisles, you are more likely to visit every single corner of the shop and see everything before leaving. They also have their own restaurant, which is conveniently located at the end of the shop, just when you've worked up an appetite after your long stroll and are out of options for dining. And there you have it, the top 10 ways stores psychologically trick you into spending more money. By understanding these tactics, you can become a more mindful shopper and make informed decisions about where and how you spend your hard-earned cash. Remember to stay vigilant, stick to your budget, and don't let retailers manipulate you into making purchases you don't need. Thanks for watching, and happy shopping.